Alright guys, I got the D-lyre. This is one thing we've been really talking about doing for the last, I don't know, 6-7 years or so. Keeping a log of all of the bobcats and stuff we shoot and how much they weigh, and that way by the end of the year we really kind of know what we did for that season. 16.4. That's a pretty good cat.
That was me 10 years ago. I was young, full of life, giving everything I had to a vision of what I knew something could be. I didn't really care what others said I couldn't do. I was hell-bent on making a dream become reality, and nothing in this world was gonna stop me. I knew even then the hunter in me who'd been in control for so long would have to take a back seat to the videographer I knew I had to become. I just wanted the world to see something they'd never seen before. And I feel in my heart, we did it. They say if you live long enough, you're gonna have regrets no matter what you do. And reflecting on the past usually leads to, I should have done this or I should have done that. But sitting here today, if someone were to ask if I could go back and change anything, I could put my hand on the Bible and honestly say, no, I wouldn't change anything.
I believe that we may end up having to get us a bigger truck next year.
Sometimes I feel it's good to just take pause and reflect on all the good times you've experienced in your life. It's really not hard to let those moments drift away just out of memory's reach as the relentless hands of time begin to pass you by. So today was going to be a special get-together with the team and their families to relive some of those moments, just to keep them close. After all, we felt we had something to celebrate. It was Night Crew's 10th birthday, which marked a decade worth of memories filming for TV that none of us would trade for this world. And around Gary's house, it would be uncivilized to have a get-together without a good old-fashioned Texas fish fry. And you ain't lived until you've had fresh-cut fries, homemade hush puppies, and deep-fried blue cat. And let me tell you, Gary flat knows how to cook. I can't speak for the rest of the team, but I actually went with full intentions of making myself sick on catfish. And I'm pretty sure I succeeded somewhere in the midst of everything, because I think my governor may have somehow quit working. And don't act like you wouldn't have done the same thing, because I bet this is making you hungry just watching it. Now imagine actually being there and not giving in every time Gary says, "Okay, who's ready for more?" It ain't that easy.
Oh, yeah.
The temptation is real.
What the poor folks gonna eat tonight?
We were going into Night Crew Season 5, but a lot of our followers don't realize we'd filmed for 2 other television shows prior to creating Night Crew as you now know it. We had a great time working with other shows those first 5 years, and it was a great learning experience. But at the end of the day, we knew in our heart we wanted our own show with our own identity, and Night Crew TV was born. I would imagine there will be memories relived on this night that predate Night Crew some of you may have never seen, so sit back and see if there's any hunch you recognize. The night was young with lots of things to relive, and somehow we managed to get on Gary's first night ever on the gun, and no one can tell that story better than the professor of physics himself.
I never was really a night hunter. I was always more of a day hunter. Call them in the daylight. I wasn't real fond of the dark. I'm not scared of the dark. I just don't like the crap that's in it.
But you became a night hunter after that night, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was high enough. Nothing could really jump up in the back of that truck, so I figured I was safe.
We've been friends ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't no telling how much stuff we've killed together.
How many shots I've missed?
Yeah, no kidding.
I missed several.
What was your excuse?
Humidity, altitude, wind direction, temperature. I mean, I've tried to use them all.
We didn't know you used the philosophy of, was it physics?
A professor of
Yeah,
physics?
professor of physics. And it really helps when you put a shell in the barrel. I have been known to do that also.
I can remember the first time that you ever were on the gun.
Yeah, I do too. It was one of the best nights and one of the stupidest nights that I've ever been involved of. We hunted that night and we had a cat coming in, but before the cat come in, they gave me the gun. They said, "Hey, look, it's got a real soft trigger. Don't put your finger in there until you're ready for it to go off." Whatever. You know, I'm older than they are. I thought I knew better. We had a cat come in and he stopped about 40 yards. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. Relax. If you miss on camera, you never live it down. I slowly brought the crosshairs to where I thought they needed to be, and I slowly slid my finger in there, and all of a sudden that thing went off before I was ready. It kind of rocked me back and kind of took my eyes off what I was shooting at. Then I remembered those lights were scanning the horizon. I'm thinking, holy crap, I missed. And I said, kind of a little sheepish voice, I said, "Did I hit him?" "Oh, yeah." He said, "That was devastating." I couldn't tell because I sure wasn't looking at him. I mean, it kind of rocked me back. So Chris said, "Hey, it's early in the stand, reload." So I broke the bolt open, I slid it back a little bit, and I caught the hull because I didn't want to make any noise because I'm a rookie at this. I don't want to do anything that's going to mess this up. I catch my hull and I close it back, and we hunted. We didn't see nothing else, so when we got done, we lay it up in a padded rack up in the back of the truck.
The gun?
The gun. That way it's there when we get to the next stand. So we rolled to the next stand, and we went in, and we hadn't been there 2 minutes, and we had a cat nearly run over the truck. I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna kill my first cat, I'm gonna kill my second cat the first night.
You'd already loaded him up in the back of the truck.
He was going home for a ride. He's gonna have a taxi ride. I had never hunted with them. I mean, they have a system. Whenever Chris says I'm all over him with the camera, that means don't shoot until he says I've got him or bust him. Well, I didn't know that trick. A rookie. So the cat was walking. When it did, I pulled the trigger, and all I hear is a click. Oh, now I'm sick at my stomach. And now I'm thinking, man, what an idiot.
I was in my head thinking, okay, he's going to wait on me to tell him to shoot. This cat's walking to the side, and I'm panning with the cat, and all of a sudden I hear this click, and I'm thinking, oh, crap, he just dry fired. Because you can hear it plain as day on the camera. It's click, and I'm like, reload, reload. The whole time the cat's sitting there looking at me like this, and I'm like... I'm trying to do everything I can to distract him from what just happened, you know, but...
And I thought, well, I'm going to shoot him walking. I'm not going to wait for him to stop because I don't want to screw this up again. I grazed him on the chest.
Spectacular shot, I might add.
You know, there's not many people that can shave the hair off their chest and not draw blood. He did a double backflip about 4 foot high, and he took off running. I'm thinking, oh, crap. I told him I could shoot, but I just...
You just wanted to prove it, right? You just wanted to let him take off running so you could do a spectacular
Now, I'm kind of in a panic mode, so I don't care how loud it is. I jerk one out, slam another one in there, and he's weaving in and out of some mesquite trees, and finally he levels out, and I pull the trigger, and I hear the thud, and I see him go rolling over. I'm thinking, whew, I kind of saved a bad one there. At least I killed him.
You were nervous as hell, weren't you?
And about that time, I'm sitting there thinking, what an idiot, but what a great shot. What an idiot, but what a great shot.
Stay tuned, there's more great stories yet to come.
Y'all remember the cat that we killed? It was all 4 of us. As soon as we pull in there, we start calling. All 4 of us are up in the truck, and we had a coyote that went almost all the way around us. And we were this close to shooting that coyote, and then all of a sudden, I think you panned around and caught.
Yeah, that cat come from a long ways. We caught eyes way out there.
We're thinking, well, that's that same coyote. Well, it wasn't. It turned out to be a big old bobcat.
This is one of Matt's places, and unfortunately Matt couldn't make it tonight. So we wanted to show a few of his favorite stands just to let him know he's an important part of the team. This big old bobcat came in like he owned the place, and what stood out the most in my mind is how he walked right behind a passing coyote, and it never fazed him one bit. I guess as big as he was, he didn't have much to worry about.
And he had to cross over the tracks of that coyote, and that didn't affect him at all.
No, and usually when they do, a smaller cat,
The alert comes on.
it's like, okay, well, wait a minute, there's a coyote in the area. I need to make sure I don't get my ass kicked, And that cat, man, he crossed right where that coyote went, and he just kept on going. He never stopped the
fazed
whole
him.
way in.
Dude, that is a big cat. He did not look that big coming through.
That's a chunk.
Look at that. Holy moly.
Got a big old head on him. I'm assuming it's a him. Yep.
Sure is. Man, that is a great North Texas cat right there.
Yeah, that's a big one for around here.
So we pull in. It couldn't have been 30, 45 seconds that we were calling when that coyote popped up. And how long has it been that we had a coyote make a complete circle around us?
None that I can remember. It's a long time if it has.
We almost start shooting the bull. Sure enough, pick up another eyes. We think it's the coyote again, and here comes this cat, and he was hard charging. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he come running in.
If Chris hadn't squeaked there, I guess he was probably maybe 30 yards away at that point. If he hadn't squeaked, he probably would have just kept on coming.
I sure didn't think he was this big. He definitely turned out bigger than I thought.
And he had to have smelled that coyote.
Yeah, he
Trail
crossed
somewhere.
right where the coyote went through there.
Evidently, he's big enough. He doesn't care how
Yeah, he
big
didn't
what the coyotes are doing. He's like, I can handle my own.
That cat come through there probably 10 seconds, 15 seconds
Yeah.
after that coyote ran through there.
This was a full-grown one that would measure up to just about anyone's standards. I think Matt was sure proud of him because he'd only killed one bigger cat to date. And we were all in for a surprise of his size once we walked up on him. Let's just say there was no ground shrinkage with this one.
When I was thinking that, we was walking up there, I was like, man, it's kind of like when you shoot a buck, you get up there and I start getting smaller, and that sucker kept getting bigger. We walk away and come back and it still gets bigger. I sure wasn't expecting it to be that big.
He didn't move like he was big, I guess because he just came trotting in. And
To some folks, that's probably not a big cat, but to us, that's a good cat.
and some folks, this would be a trophy.
Absolutely.
Trophy. But that's a good cat for this North Texas area.
I would like to personally thank our light guy.
Let me get in the spotlight here. Don't get in my gut. Let me pull it in that way a little trimmer.
I still remember we were doing some summer hunting, and Chris sent us the little clip of it. Gary's like, damn, look at my belly. I gotta do something about that.
Like that's fixing to have an elephant.
Ronnie's probably going to make fun of me, but he can tell a story however he wants to tell it. But bar none, I think the funniest thing that ever happened to me was just me and Ronnie one night.
Yeah, I got a good story. I'll try to retell it and give it justice. And unfortunately, we don't have footage of it because we just didn't film nothing. But anyways, we pull into this pasture, and there's a pig up close, and Chris hardly ever gets to shoot. I was like, Chris, you go shoot the pig. I'll sit up here and wait on you. After you shoot the pig, I'll come get you. He said, okay. So he goes walking down through there, and the pig gets further and further and further away from us. Well, I finally hear Chris shoot, and I hear him smack. So I pull the truck down in there, and Chris is walking back to me. So you jumped in the driver's seat, right? 'Cause
Yes.
I don't think I did this.
It was my fault.
Yeah, okay. Chris jumps in the driver's seat. And we pull on down in there. We get about parallel with the pig. So we get out of the truck and he's like, I want to go look at him. He's a big old boar. So we have to cross these 2 barbed wire fences to go over to look at this pig. So we're sitting there and we're like, man, that's a cool pig. We're just kind of checking him out. I'm having my head down and I hear, and I'm thinking, man, did we shoot somebody's pet or what? And I'm looking around, all of a sudden I look up and Chris is gone. And I look up and the truck is steadily driving through the pasture and Chris looks like an Olympic freaking sprinter. He hurdles one fence, he's getting it across then he hurdles the next fence. Well, he didn't put the truck in park. And the truck is by itself. It's probably, I don't know, 80, 90 yards away from us, steadily driving itself through the pasture, heading right for a big group of trees, and it was priceless.
You didn't think I could run that
no,
fast,
I didn't think you would make it. I didn't think you could hurdle those fences like that. Anyways, we catch the truck right in the nick of time, and I don't know how to even give the story justice, but it was the funniest stinking thing. Just watching Chris hauling ass across this field, hurdles these 2 fences, gets to the truck in the nick of time, dude. I was rolling.
All I can remember is I was sitting there looking at the pig, and I just happened to turn around and look, and the truck is probably 100 yards from where we parked it, where we thought we parked it. And I'm like, oh shit. And I didn't even wait to tell him what happened. I was just gone. I was gonna go get it.
If we would have had that on video, people, you can't appreciate the moment.
I can move pretty good for a big boy when I'm motivated.
Well, you were motivated.
I'd like to see him hurdle the fences.
Oh, it was great.
And the one I'm talking about was the one where we called the landowner. We're like, hey Roy, we're going to be out hunting tonight. We just wanted to just touch base. If you see a light out in the pasture, just wanted to let you know it was us. He's like, oh yeah, no, y'all go on down there. Y'all kill what you can. And then right before he hung up, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, don't shoot my bobcats. My wife likes looking at them. And I'm thinking to myself, no big deal, Roy, we'll make sure we don't shoot your cats. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, we've hunted this place for 15 years and ain't never seen a single cat on it. It's all been coyotes. That's what I thought when I hung up the phone. Fast forward 10 minutes later, and there's a freaking 25-pound bobcat literally sitting on his butt, probably 20 yards or less from
He's about 8 yards because we were filming him under the rail of the pickup.
That's right.
As he came in, he went through the shadow of the rail, and he was under the rail, and I was squatted down to get out of the camera, and I was just looking at him right there, and I'm thinking, if I only had a bow, Roy wouldn't ever hear that bow go off.
I remember vividly you kind of crouched down looking at the cat underneath the top rail. And I even, just to put it into perspective, because a lot of times whenever we're filming, people can't tell if the cat's right there or if he's 50 yards over there. So I actually zoomed out and got the top rail of the truck in the frame and then zoomed back in just to put it in perspective how close this cat was to the truck. And I'm thinking, of all times, the landowner tells us to not shoot the bobcat. That cat sat there for over 3 minutes. You remember how I made him leave?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? He about turned inside out trying to get out of there.
He did.
That was good stuff, man. Well, it's been fun. I've had a blast. I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, we've had a few people come and go along the way, but I wouldn't take nothing back. And everything that's happened since we started, it happened the way it was supposed to. I hope we've got another 20, 30 years of doing this stuff together.
I think what makes the whole group so special is that nobody's selfish. Is the thing.
Not a bit.
So it's not about Gary, it's not about me, it's not about Matt, it's not about you. No. It's about Night Crew. So, and I feel like that's what makes everything work.
The joys of night hunting.
The joys of night hunting, yep. and really it's more about the animal than it is any one of us. Because if it wasn't, I've said from the get-go that this show is not about any one person. It's about what we do and how much fun this sport is. The day that we lose that is the day that I personally want to hang it up. But I don't think we'll ever get there. I honestly feel like our personalities are good enough to where we can go out, cut up, have a good time. If we kill something, great. If we don't, go home and then go again the next night.
So quit worrying about missing so dang much, Gary.
It's getting to where it's more common.
You need to get your eyes checked?
Yeah, I don't know. They may need to get a new set.
Even the misses, I wouldn't change those for the world.
That's all right. Tell us how you really feel, and I go to a 2-minute rant.
Let's see it. Do the hat
Oh,
glasses.
no.
Come on.
Oh, I promise it won't be on TV.
Professor of physics.
Lying sack of crap. Laughing the whole time, egging me on.
I would never do that to you.
I did miss him pretty bad, though.
Yes.
I wasn't even in the same zip code.
I mean, he only missed him by like an inch or two.
I wasn't even in the same zip code.
Like this, institute like this.
Yeah.
Not like this.
Whole Gary had us rolling the entire night, and this was just the beginning. We had so much fun and told so many great stories. There's just way too many of them to fit into one episode. Just wait until you hear the shenanigans we dive off into next week. And lots of them revolve around one old friend who's been with us since the beginning. She ain't ever let us down yet, so we're not about to exclude her as part of the team.